On this particular day, the sky sits still, unimposing, and the house stands in the fall of the year, unannounced. Down the street a short distance away is a bridge made of steel, and capturing your eyes beyond it is a mill where the alloy of iron and carbon were once made. A church is down the street, shuttered now, and a library that once was honors the history of the city that sits along Lake Erie. The place they call Lorain works to be born again. There's a fresh new sign that welcomes you. And on any summer night, you may find a crowd of people enjoying dinner and each other's company on Broadway's sidewalks at a hopeful restaurant. And I wonder about that house in Lorain on the avenue called Elyria, and the young girl who long ago called it home. Do the people who live there today know about Chloe Wooford, who the world knows as Toni Morrison? It's a good question, I think.
Toni Morrison is saying, "You are the prize."
Dr. Joanne Wu is an associate professor of English at Lorain County Community College. She knows the work of Toni Morrison. She teaches it as part of her African American literature class.
What she passed on through her literature is the essential value we have to maintain as a human. And it's not limited to her Lorain experience or African American experience or her other identities we can characterize, but she addressed very universal truths we all could experience, we all have to pursue at the end. So her words is just alive, that is very eternal.
Morrison's books are staples of the classroom instruction. Student Jason Jordan, a lifelong Lorain resident, is participating in a service learning project that researches the life and the work of Toni Morrison. The research team has divided her life into 3 components.
I like to call them the 3 L's, Lorain, life, and legacy. And those 3 areas will encompass the totality, the entirety of her life and what it meant to us. And so when we come through the research and we learn about her life, we end up with something that she gave to us, that she indeed made service to us. And so when we look at that, we look at her profound love for education. That's something that we can now convey to our young people, that education was key and important to Toni Morrison.
The 2 young girls who bookend this picture were playing outside the Lorain Historical Society building when I stopped by to see the place that was Lorain's library during Toni Morrison's formative years. Morrison would read here as a young girl, very much the same age of the 2 I met. The moment of what could become of one was not lost on me.
Toni Morrison får årets Nobelpris i litteratur.
In 1993, Toni Morrison became the first African-American woman to win a Nobel Prize in literature. President Barack Obama honored her with the Presidential Medal of Freedom Award in 2012, calling her one of our country's most distinguished storytellers. Her novel Beloved was published in 1987, and it went on to win Morrison a Pulitzer Prize. Her life's work is more than notable. It changes people.
She makes me want to do better by reading her stories. Her writing inspired me to want to do more for my community, want to give more and leave a mark as she did.
Dr. Wu was a young college student in Seoul, South Korea when she first read The Bluest Eye. She came to the United States in 2005 through an exchange program with the University of Northern Iowa and studied African American literature in graduate school. She wanted to teach it. Her peers were pessimistic and questioned how could an Asian woman teach African American literature. She struggled to find work. While still in Iowa, an opening at Lorain County Community College in Ohio caught her attention.
My husband found LCCC and he researched around here. And it's funny, he said that, oh, you have to apply for this job because it's where Toni Morrison was born. So I thought, well, I should give it a shot.
In September of the year 2000, Toni Morrison came to the Lorain County Community College campus. Others came too, to see and meet her. Over 1,000 people from places as far away as Japan and Brazil, and as nearby as her hometown Lorain, came here. Morrison once said, "What is it that I have to do that's so important that I'll die if I don't?" And there were two things, and the first was mother my children, and the second was right. Etched in stone, cast in the light of day on a statue called The Gift, are these words that Morrison wrote. "We die that may be the meaning of life, but we do language that may be the measure of our lives." The statue sits just outside Stocker Center on the campus of Lorain County Community College. Inside Stocker is the classroom that Dr. Wu teaches African American literature, the language that measures Morrison's life and impacts others today, yesterday, and far into the future. The connections make the spine tingle.
Well, I've learned that her father worked at our steel mills. My father worked at the steel mill. Various streets, places that she frequented in her childhood are some of the very same places that I frequented coming up in Lorain. So she was the same person, walked these same sidewalks and traveled these same roads. And to become a Nobel Prize winner was very special to me.
Toni Morrison passed away at age 88 in the August of the summer we just said goodbye to. The beautiful thing about the written word, though, we never have to say goodbye to it. And that forever will be the gift, given to us all by the woman who once was the little girl who started her journey in this house, in this neighborhood, and on a beach along our Great Lake in the city we know as Lorain. Her words, when you think about it, are a lot like the lighthouse in Lorain. They're a sign of hope, promise, and a new day through even the storms that may come.